Oh, come on, man. Sorry, guys. I did it when I was walking. This is going just a short video. Again, I am working on a documentary. You guys know that I'm fascinated with quote unquote space, right? Fascinated with space. Again, sorry for the portrait mode. That being said, I'm open-minded with space. You know, I don't know what it is, and everybody is amazed with the heavens, which again, I'm one of these people. So many people are unaware of Earth, folks. I know this sounds crazy, that statement probably sounds absurd, but seriously, just like with anything, if you're red-pilled woke, you go down this rabbit hole. If I'm interested in a topic, guys, I become like an addict. Like, I'm hooked. And just because if I don't upload a video, that being said, I work every single day, most nights as well. So I'm constantly researching. But I just want to give you, excuse me, a couple facts. And again, there is a mini documentary in the works. So everybody has heard of the Antarctica Treaty, right? Just stick with me for a second. Just go with the numbers that we were all taught, right? In public school, private school, homeschooled. Let's just, for the sake of this video, again, this is going to be a short video. But the numbers, guys, once I started it last night, and are fascinating. So the South Pole, Antarctica. Again, stick with me, folks. We're acting like it's a spear, pear / globe. So Antarctica. I'm going to show you a picture of Antarctica, and when I refer to the tip, because the tip is curved, right? And that the tip, or the hook, I call it. The hook is not connected to South America, but that hook is directly underneath of South America. So whenever I refer to Antarctica and I say the hook, so as far as landmass goes, Antarctica alone is larger than America and Mexico. Think about that number. Larger than America and Mexico combined. So for the sake of this video, just again, we're saying we do live on what they taught us. That amount of landmass, folks. Again, people underestimate the size of America. They come here as a tourist and they want to see New York, they want to see Washington, and maybe possibly Philadelphia, right? Little do they know, one, as far as renting a vehicle, you know, you're in a new country, you got to rent the vehicle, new country, you know, it takes hours when you're familiar with the land, right? And anyway, people come, they visit, but they always underestimate. I'm pretty close to Philadelphia, and I speak to so many people, guys. But again, for the sake of the video, just knowing that there's a place out there that's larger than America and larger than Mexico combined, that's off limits. Again, for the sake of this video, yes, you can go there if you do have a lot of money. But again, guys, we're talking about the landmass. This is the hook that I'm talking about. And then South America is right here. So again, if you have a lot of money, you'll go to Antarctica, but you're going to go to the hook. you're going to go to the hook. And again, chicken scratch journaling, but it's for, I was just working on stuff. So this is Antarctica. And then the first circle, folks, you can see is the Arctic Circle. The second circle is the Antarctica Treaty. First circle, second circle, guys. Again, if you go in anywhere in on this outer circle, you will be dealt with the U.S. military. So that blows my mind how large that area is. And again, we're just, for the sake of the video, we're just saying that it's a globe. So again, guys, even if you did had enough money, and just say, you know, some rich person said, you know, just say we were explorers, right? And someone had the money, and they wanted to say, okay, I'll buy you a ship, or you tell me what you need for your voyage. You can't. Every single person who just goes to Antarctica, you have to go through the DOD, the Department of Defense. Just think about that one. Every single person. But again, if you do have the money, or if you do have just say you had your own private airline, right? You can't go here, folks. You cannot go here. And then if you do have enough money and you are cleared, you're going to the tip. So again, this outer, I'm going to change topics on the next one. This outer band, folks, that's the 60-degree line. Not the first one, but this outer one. Very, very large. Now, take that 60 degrees south. Take the 60-degree north. And that's even another mystery, because everyone talks about Antarctica, right? And you can find many videos on Antarctica. But again, the North Pole, besides Santa Claus being there, on the serious note, it's very, very secretive, folks. Very, very secretive. Again, why? That's all I want to know. Why? But in this documentary, everything I'm saying, folks, I will show you with evidence. Numerous sources, and two, credible people, meaning that they either, you'll see in the video. So now everything 60-degree north, guys, is all animated. This is coming from numerous people. Steve Quayle, Dr. Brooks Agnew. So now the Grand Canyon, right? The Grand Canyon, it's larger than the state of Rhode Island for people who live in America. So it's larger than the state of Rhode Island. Rhode Island has a population of over 1 million people. So if you look up the size of the Grand Canyon, it's certain parts 1 mile deep, 277 miles long, 18 miles wide. That's approximately 2,000. But again, guys, if you look this up at the very bottom, it will tell you that they will not list the true size of it. 90%, yes, 90% of the Grand Canyon is off limits to even the natives. So there are native tribes there. 90%, folks. Think about that one. 90% of the Grand Canyon is off limits. Again, where do they get these numbers from? I don't know. But there's an estimated 1,000 hidden caves in the Grand Canyon. Only 335 have been recorded. Not visited, but recorded on a map. Most of these caves, guys, out of the 1,000 that are listed, were never ever explored. That being said, 26 February 1919, that's when that's when the Grand Canyon became a national park. Again, Steve Quayle, and in the documentary, I'll have other sources as well. They found, folks, allegedly, everybody's familiar with the pyramids, right? Egyptian. Well, they found a shitload of artifacts, Egyptian artifacts, in the Grand Canyon. And if you do your research, again, around 1919, that's when it became a national park. That's where they started to put boundaries and did all that good stuff. But again, our history, folks, is so suppressed. And again, I love history, but then when you find out like recent stuff, again, I told you guys, my uncle here in Jersey, he discovered a brand new plant species in Jersey, folks, the most densely populated state in America. He discovered a brand new species that was never discovered in Hamilton, New Jersey. Tommy Southard, that's his name. So it just blows my mind. Like, again, last night when I was working on the documentary, I started watching a lot about the oceans, right? And that just really cracks me up. Again, coming from Steve Quayle, this is a quote: Egyptians are in the Grand Canyon artifacts. He has a great DVD too. It's called Forbidden History Revealed, for people who enjoy history. You know, the holidays are among us. Also, they found giants, guys. There's so many different versions of the Bible, and it is very watered down. But again, why? If I don't care who you are, besides, again, if you're in the military, there has to be secrets, or if you're in law enforcement, right? There has to be secrets. Obviously, everything can't be an open book. But ever since 9/11, I mean, there's numerous people. There's a couple books I have, and that the document, it was Kevin Shipp. I have his book. Kevin Shipp, he had certain pieces of information in his book, and what did they do? Meaning the entity, the Gov, Big Brother, they retracted with a black marker. But in his book, that's why I love code. How certain people, high-level people, they speak in code. And anyway, in his own book, he tells you how to get around to it, so you could actually know what it says. But again, since from 2001, it's super simple. Again, even if it's not something for national security, that's all. As soon as they say national security, it's over. You could be a member of Congress, you could be whoever. It's over as soon as you say it's for national security. So that sucks for people like us. Recently, you guys heard about the Amazon. The Amazon is on fire, right? And the lamestream is making it sound like it's the end of the world. It happens every year. It happens. That being said, it's not the end of the world yet. But seriously, the Grand Canyon, guys. You guys probably heard of Graham Hancock. Amazing. Again, if you enjoy history, absolutely amazing. He's his own man, so he does not work for any entity. So he does not have to spin anything, and he speaks truth. And a lot of his work, he was laughed at, he was ridiculed, and then later on, things, they get open source, or more people jump on the bandwagon. I'll use geoengineering as an example, right? A couple years ago, I had people laughing at me. I mean, person to person, certain family members. And then now it's on their own website, guys. So, take it or leave it, but it's on their own website. But anyway, Graham Hancock is absolutely amazing. So is the Amazon, folks. The Amazon, India, right? India, the country, India. There's India's population as of 2017 is 1.339 billion people. 1.339 billion people. There's an area in the Amazon, guys, that's as large as India. It's very thick. There's obviously the Amazon's not all the same. People think it is. But imagine that, guys. An area the size of, again, India, that has yet to be discovered. Meaning that we know it's there, but, explored. The size of India. And that's why I added the population in there, just to give you a reference. So, again, India has 1.339 billion people. So there's plenty of land, guys. Again, everybody looks up. Earth is an alien planet. I look up as well, but the Earth is fascinating. And there's so many areas, guys. So many areas that are unexplored to this day. Or you're just not allowed to go. Again, just knowing that 90% of the Grand Canyon is off limits, and knowing that they found giants. Again, there's proof as well. Steve Quayle has pictures, and in the documentary, I'm gonna show you guys pictures of giants. The most recent giant was 2003, the giant of Kandahar, that coast to coast AM. There's numerous sources about that. I mean, numerous videos about that one. But again, if there are giants that are alive right this second as I'm making this video, again, it's different when you hear about history, right? Or you hear about giants. It's a whole nother thing when you actually see a skeleton, or again, more recently in 2003, the giant of Kandahar. And back to Steve Quayle. Steve Quayle said the giants were much, much taller before the flood. And then once the flood came, there were still giants, but they were not nearly as tall as prior to the flood. Anytime they recently, when I say recently, meaning over the past couple years, they were digging in California for a highway, and they came across artifacts that they never found before. And Mr. Hancock, Graham Hancock, he went out there and took numerous photographs. And believe it or not, well, it's probably easier to believe it, that was the last that he has heard about the artifacts, and they're not seen. A lot of times, guys, when they find artifacts, they just the ones that they want to present to us, the sheeple, that they will put on display. But again, I bring up the Vatican a lot. The Vatican is so, again, like, I understand that we do need secrets, guys. I'm not one of them people that, everything should be, open, just be free. We need secrets. Certain entities, obviously, for security purposes. But they just took that to a whole nother level. Meaning, of course, after 9/11, they abused the power, or they abused that terminology. And I disagree 100% with that. Um, the last thing, the oceans, folks. It's called, the company for space with Elon is called SpaceX. Well, on YouTube, it's a brand new company. It just got funded about 2 years ago. It's called Ocean X. Amazing, because there's nobody else out there that are doing what they're doing. They explore certain parts of Antarctica, and obviously, guys, every single time they go down, over 70% of just the water alone, ignore everything else that I said, obviously it's undiscovered, right? Guys, in the Gulf of Mexico, it's pretty little, in the Gulf of Mexico, there are over 100 salt brine pools, meaning they go down in a mini sub and it looks just like a coastline. It looks like water in water, right? Water in water. So now they go down in the submarine, and since it's obviously salt water and fresh water, they don't mix, right? So as I go down in the submarine, it looks like a little tiny lake, guys. And like, it blows your mind, let alone, I can't imagine being a explorer, but to see something at the bottom, something that's at the bottom of the ocean where it looks like a river. Mussels, guys. Mussels are even growing like on the beach line. Amazing. Anyway, they tried to go down and the sub can't penetrate it. Again, they give you a approximate number, but they don't know for sure. But that being said, Ocean X, they actually do I have this one written down? Ocean X, they discovered, or should I say explored, I believe five different they call it like a pool brine. And again, just seeing that, guys, like, think about being at the bottom of the ocean. You turn on the lights and it looks like a lake. It's unbelievable to see. But again, shout out to Ocean X, because they show a lot of things that have been discovered. Even in their own videos, they say that we know more about the solar system than we do our own planet. And right there, that's pretty odd to me, folks. Just one person's opinion, just one person's opinion. But there should, all right, the Mariana Trench, guys. If you look it up right now, deepest part of the ocean, it's in the Pacific. That's what we're taught, right? Or that even till this day, it's called the Mariana Trench. 3 explorers went there. 1960s. This is before we went to the moon. So 1960s we went. 2012, James Cameron. Think about that one. James Cameron went. And then in 2019, so only 3 times that we're told. So in 2019, a explorer, they call him an American explorer, but his uniform has, every single patch you could think of, meaning flag-wise. So it looks like a NASA, NASA outfit, but his name's Victor. So again, why would we only explore this? So one time was done by the military, one time was done by elitist, James Cameron, and then the third time is done by a company who was federally funded by government. Again, the Mariana Trench is also it's militarized. But in this video that I will be showing you guys soon, it is not. Again, I have evidence. I have evidence to show you guys. It is not the deepest part of the ocean, which last night blew my mind. Blew my mind. And they list the five deepest parts. Out of the five, the North Pole, the South Pole are both on that top 5 list. But the North Pole is fascinating because, again, the South Pole, there's mountains, right? Some of the tallest, and there's volcanoes. Where the North Pole, that's allegedly, from all the footage, that's just sea ice. So it's constantly shifting and getting larger and shrinking. But there are not, there's 0 mountains, guys. And you could type it in on YouTube. Type in the North Pole. You'll see flights that say they're at the North Pole, because GPS, folks, does not work at either poles. Just to let you guys know. So when you analyze video of aircraft, there's even a tour group. Obviously, they do it for money, but they tell you that you're at the North Pole, and they all look different. They all look totally different. One clip that I saw of the North Pole of an airline was it showed mountains. That's how large Greenland is, folks. Again, we're talking about a large amount of landmass, because it's 60 degrees south, 60 degrees north, off limits. And for any type of satellite or high altitude imagery is 100% totally verboten, off limits. That being said, there are, and that is the North, that was 2006 under George W. So 2006, he created the Data Denial Act. Again, this is for the North. The South, that was way back. Obviously, you guys know Richard Admiral Byrd. And you may not be into history, but I think you'll find at least this little documentary pretty fascinating, guys, when I tell you about how many places. Again, guys, we're not talking about some small little place. Again, I'm dragging, 28 minutes. Even Graham Hancock about the Americas, right? We're all told Christopher Columbus. Well, allegedly, and again, I'll show you evidence from Graham Hancock. Over 130,000 years old. This is the part that, with space, right? Each agency declares space at a different height. Same thing, they would say X, this agency would say this amount of years, and then this. So that should also tell you something. If they're not all on the same page, obviously, they're not communicating too well. And what does that tell me? That tells me that they don't really know, obviously. If it was so easy, it'll be, the exact number. But just knowing, again, in America, that they found Egyptian artifacts is fascinating. Just that one fact alone, it's fascinating. Let alone all the space. Darlene, how are you? Martha, Batman, Simon King, Avatar. Again, I'm very open-minded, and especially once you hear again in 27 minutes of this video, I name a few different locations with certain statistics. Again, that's for a 27-minute long video. There's many, many more, folks. Many, many more. Number one, Batman. I believe that's Shaquille O'Neal. Just so you know, Shaquille O'Neal, he's a Freemason. Again, nothing wrong with Freemasons. I have family who are Freemasons, but that's not me. I'm not a part of any group besides groups on YouTube. Princess, how are you? Well, he followed a light in the sky, and he discovered America. Mike, dude, again, obviously everybody's not interested in, we all enjoy different things, right? But I think we're all here for one purpose, for truth. But again, I love history, and when you find this stuff out, I always knew, I know for a fact, obviously, look at the U.S. military out in the Pacific with one island, Guam, but the Pacific is so freaking huge. Again, when I say space, guys, very large gray area. So there's numerous people, though. I'm talking about 15 years ago that were talking about a space elevator, folks. A space elevator. Again, I'm just the messenger, but allegedly, well, there's numerous patents. About 4 years ago, I found a couple patents. And again, the 60-degree line, folks, that's a lot of Canada. A lot of Canada. So the 60-degree north, very, very interesting. Darlene, the Hebrew Israelites were scattered to the four corners of earth. Yeah, I find that amazing too, Darlene. Again, even as a kid, I loved, I enjoyed maps, and to again, guys, not everybody is a good drawer, right? I enjoy drawing, but not everyone, think about drawing a map, right? There are some maps out there that are so old, and they're very, very precise, folks. Think about the technology, but then that brings me to this whole point of the video is we ourselves as Homo sapiens, we see ourselves as the most technicalized civilization that ever walked the earth. Do I believe that? Not really. Not really. Again, this is something that they can't hide. Look at the pyramids, guys. With today's technology, they said they can't even do the pyramids. With today's technology. So again, believe it or not, Atlantis, a lot of times they put a spin on it, right? And they tell you it's in this location. But again, I don't know if you guys believe in Atlantis, but even nanotechnology, we speak about nanotechnology being in specific food and aerosols, but they found nanotechnology in a few of these temples. Nanotechnology. So I don't have the answers, folks. I just know that it's pretty fascinating. Eric, space elevator to Tower of Babylon or Babel. G Reporter, what's up, brother? Darlene, or sorry, Bob Berger, Darlene. Bob says, well, I'm gonna end it, guys. It gets dark so friggin' fast. I came down, I captured some of the sunset. Starseed, space elevators made of nanotubes and graphene. Correct. They tell us, again, they tell us that you know, that there's not enough of it. But even like technology, like I don't know if you ever wore a bulletproof vest, but they're very very uncomfortable, and they're very bulky. Yes, there's different kinds, there's different types, there's different brands. But with today's technology, there's again, going back to Bob Lazar. Again, you don't have to agree with his story, but regardless, Bob Lazar, a couple things. He told us about Area 51. If it wasn't for him, it might still be off the map. Who knows? But the main part is he told us about element 115, right? He said element 115, element 115. All right, what is that? Again, Bob Lazar is super intelligent, folks. He has his own lab till this day. And again, I used to do, you know, analyze people, if they're telling the truth or not. And Bob was very young when he came forward with that information. But again, regardless, guys, they added that element to the periodic table. So that should tell you something. Skywatcher footage. I captured some good footage today. Skywatcher. There's so many times when you lower like the contrast, things pop out. It's pretty crazy, pretty wicked stuff. Michael. Bing and DuckDuckGo are much better than Google Eye and DC. They don't suppress truth. DuckDuckGo. I use DuckDuckGo. It should be I mean, what Google is doing is ridiculous. Not really ridiculous. There should be a law against it. They should not be above the law. Where they could remember the good old days where it just went by view count. Again, that could be one man sitting in my car right now. But just say if I had higher views than the number one trusted news, the Commie News Network, the guy sitting in the car would win. Not anymore. It's not like that. G Reporter says Google is God. On a serious note about that one, and again, the U.S. military, not just the best in the world, but think about this is what our own military, if you're in America, this is what the U.S. military said. The U.S. military said that these big tech companies are going to be a threat to national security. Again, we all know how much money they have, right? It's pretty much open source. Not the black part. I'm talking about the plain military. But just knowing that they mention that, folks, you're going to be, if they're a threat to a military, what does that make me? I'm like a gnat, or a mosquito. they will crush me. And what did Darlene say? Darlene, yeah, it's disgusting. Google and Google and YouTube, they own each other, right? Google is a criminal organization. I mean, just by with what they do is and again, guys, I'm not talking about politics at all. But if the Commie News Network, every airport in America, again, it's like me. You know how, again, I'm demonetized, and I asked you guys, I say, if you like a certain video, I have a PayPal account, greatly appreciated, and I ask you guys. But imagine every time you watch my video that I pay each person watching, I give you, for each time you watch, I give you a $20 bill. That's what the Commie News Network, that's what they do. They pay the airports to just show their propaganda. So now, again, my opinion only, now when you're standing in these lines, these long lines to get on the flight, I mean, yeah, everybody, they have a cell phone, but now you're just, look up and you got the Commie News Network on, just feeding you, your kids, just feeding everybody with propaganda. That should tell you something as well. When they are not the number one, but yet they also have a policy with pedal wood. In any movie, and they show the news like on the television, it's always a real Commie News Network anchor. So they're in movies. They're not real news. My opinion only. You don't like Duck Duck, Bob? Matt Man. I never heard of Matt Man. Being programmed from all angles, people don't realize. Yeah. Number one, Matt Man. Correct. Even now, like once I'm awake or whatever you call it, like certain songs and certain music videos that I watch now that I did not understand back then, I watch now. And I mean, Ozzy Osbourne does a song about mind control, and in one of the videos, it's pretty red-pilled. World Stage News. I still can't believe. Who did, Bob? Who's Will? Who is Will? Speaking of what Bob just said, this past weekend, folks, I was in the hospital, right? I had to go to the hospital pretty late, too, because I woke up with a tooth infection. That's one thing I never looked up. After talking to you guys yesterday, I totally forgot about it. What happened to 45? I'm taking the notes. Again, I was in the hospital this past weekend, right? Allegedly, or not allegedly, But I just found out yesterday that 45, he was hospitalized. But again, I haven't looked it up because I totally forgot. Stranger Things is about MK Ultra. And guys, my opinion only, all these programs, folks, they still continue till this day. They still continue till this day. Obviously under a different op. And again, they just got better with it. They just got better with it. I kind of wish, guys, again, I brought this up once, but I wish that there was a you know, all these channels out there. I wish that there was a introduction, right? Again, guys, we're coming up to Thanksgiving. We're going to see lots of family. Christmas time, you see family. But we're coming up to that time of year where, again, we see a lot of people that we don't typically normally always see, right? People always ask, the people who are not awake or on the fence, they always ask, what I'm getting at is I just wish there was a introduction, a intro to again, we are all on different levels of awakeness, right? So that's why if we speak about different topics, I always ask to see where you guys are. But I think that a short little mini documentary, it could be 20 minutes long, but again, you'll have to show evidence, right? So maybe start with 9/11, and then the truthers, again, all the pilots that testified, that, you know, have that, and then have this, just for the second one being, again, guys, I don't know what the Earth is, but showing about, again, I have about 10 different people saying that they saw the curve. But now, as technology gets, you know, better and better for anybody, now they say you cannot see the curve. But yet I still have people that fly on the airplane and they still tell me that they see a curve. When I have footage, anyone's, you know, it's open to anybody, at 120,000 feet, it's flat as a pancake. Again, I'm not here to debate. I'm just here to tell you that why would they tell you that you can see it and then in reality you can't? So most people do not know. Correct. Yeah. And again, I would make a video like that, but I think all the time and effort that I put in, less people, you know, they wouldn't watch it because I tell them where they could find certain things now, and they refuse to do it. You know, they just want to watch their favorite TV show or whatever they have on DVR. So, yeah, I agree with you. Starseed. And sometimes companies change their name too. Just say if I bought a liquor store, right, or a pizza shop, and you know, or even if you do have one, you know, sometimes you may clear out the staff and get a brand new menu, and you know, that being said, you would change the name because it takes one person to have a bad experience, and then it starts spreading the word, and now you have a new name. People are the same people who did have a bad experience, they're much more likely to obviously come back if the name has changed. So I don't see a problem with that. And we do need, again, everyone's entitled to your own opinion, but as far as military contractors go, everybody probably has their own different definition for it. But again, we do need good, dangerous people in this world. Freedom isn't free, right? So rather than going to war as a country, rather than going to war, I think, this is just me, I have no problem with PMCs stepping up to the plate rather than a entire country. But again, we could go down that rabbit hole too, right? Well, do we need to be in over 100 plus countries when there's less than 200 countries in the world? That's pretty crazy, but we'll save that for a different video. All right, guys. Appreciate all you guys are absolutely amazing, and I'm sorry for the I guess when I was walking, so I saved it in Patriot mode, or if the phone is tilted a little bit, it does it by itself. That's what I'm trying to say. Bob, what do you think about what is in Antarctica? Whew. On that note, Bob, definitely technology. Definitely technology. This is my opinion. Somebody asked me, so I think technology. I think another, guys. There are again. I say this to bring it down a notch because it might sound like radical. There are islands out there, guys, till this day, like very small islands that have not changed since, every now and then you might hear of like a peacekeeper who will try to, talk to the tribe, and they get speared to death. Like, saying again, there's so many, including in the Amazon. There are certain tribes that have zero communication with the outside world. Zero. They never, as far as they know, whatever they see in their own village, that's what's out there, right? So again, we're talking if Antarctica is the size that we're told, which it could be bigger, but just say for the size of America and Mexico that are undiscovered, blows my mind. But this is for Bob Berger, why did, again, John Kerry go there? Why did the Pope go there? Why did the Krill go there? Why did Putin go there? Why did Obama go there? You think just to see a couple just to go see a couple penguins? I don't think so. That's up for you guys. But I'm being serious, folks. Something happened too, very abruptly, because there's footage out there. It's on YouTube. Admiral Byrd is talking about how the North Pole is getting crowded up there, and there's going to be many explorers to come in the South Pole. And then after during Operation High Jump, Americans got our tails kicked, apparently. Again, from numerous sources, guys. The USSR, they were spying on us. South America countries, they picked it up with comms. So, and then right after that happened, now there's a world treaty. Pretty pretty wacky. Bob, that's what I thought. I know it was a very long explanation, but again, I'm still fascinated till this day. But again, John Kerry went on election night. Again, what was he at that time, Bob? What was he? Secretary of, I believe he was Secretary of State. Possibly, I think I could be wrong. I think it was a while ago. But he went on election night. Like, pretty important timing. Les, why can't we go there? Again, you can go there. The outer circle, that's the Antarctica Treaty. The inner circle, what's the inner one? The inner one is the Arctic Circle. Look at the top. Les. It's a crap load of money. So if you go there, you're going to go to just the tip, folks. So yes, you can go there, but you still need to get cleared by the DOD. And again, you're going with a group. You can't just go there and do whatever you want. The U.S. military guys, I'll say this and then I'll go. The U.S. military guys, they have a base in New Zealand. And it's not just for military personnel. It's for numerous people, like for scientific researchers, but they leave from New Zealand and they're flying on a modern day aircraft, folks. And you get to McMurdo Station, it's a 4.5 hour plane ride. Think about that one. With modern technology, it's a 4.5 hour plane ride. Again, we're talking about a large ass area. And it's not, the wind, it's different than the northern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere, you're either going with it or against it. Down there, it's a slight crosswind. Bot Hunter. I almost got stationed at Antarctica. That would be pretty interesting. I never met, to be clear, I never met anybody in the service who went there in person, but I have heard stories of people. Diego Garcia. Again, these island, that's an island. A lot of people don't know about Diego Garcia. One, it's a very, very important U.S. military base. Very, very important. Just like how Guam is, I guess, for Asia, I think Diego Garcia would be the number one for as far as Middle East goes. I'm talking islands, folks. Darlene, yes. Darlene says there is no global warming. Just humans trying to play God. Humans playing God. And again, certain places are getting flooded. Certain places are getting droughts. Certain places are getting, double, triple the precip. Guys, and with this one. That hurricane, because last night when I was up all night doing the research, but that hurricane, thank God, America, over the past couple years, think about that one, folks. The Pacific has been very, very busy with typhoons. But over the past 2 years, America, we have not been hit, right? Over the past couple years. That gigantic hurricane that set over Bahamas, again, it broke all these records. One, it's not natural. It's not natural to just sit stationary. Again, once it finally got moving, it was moving at 5 miles per hour. This is a hurricane that set stationary for around 30 hours, folks. 30 hours of category 5 winds. Like, just somebody, again, I don't have the answers. That's up to you guys. But it's almost as if somebody hit the brakes and said, hey, let's not let it hit America. And pretty crazy. And thank God it was supposed to, the first report, and they attacked Trump for it. But his very first press conference on that hurricane, the National Weather Service, again, he doesn't make the weather, he just reports on it. They gave him it was supposed to cross the Florida Panhandle and then possibly come back, or cross the Florida Panhandle and slam into Louisiana. Then for 2 weeks straight, we heard that he was a liar. He said it was going to hit. Again, the Commie News Network lied and said that he drew it with a Sharpie. There is so much news out there, folks. Again, if you're the number one most non-trusted news network, this is the shit that they report on, guys. This is why you watch other channels, not just mine, obviously, but this is why you guys, and also you guys look into stuff. They're fake news, folks. They are fake news. They do not have your best interest, folks. They do not. Listen, I'm all about freedom of speech, right? So, again, I did not write the U.S. Constitution. Left, right, far right, liberal, regardless. That was made for language that we do not agree with, right? It's not there to protect the shit that you want to say, or that maybe that everyone agrees with. It's to protect, shit that most people don't agree with. Freedom of speech. But we have a generation that they are destroying comedy, folks. They're destroying comedy. They're destroying. I don't want to preach to you guys, but yeah. Again, problem, reaction, solution. Problem. What's the problem? They're cracking down on everything and everybody, because of a few people get butt hurt. If you get butt hurt in something that I say, I didn't make you watch it. You sign up, or it's you're a grown person watching this. So if you don't want to listen, you don't have to. That being said, if I want to say something, but I work for you guys, that's why I want the feedback. But you get what I'm saying, right? So a couple people get butt hurt over a Halloween costume. Next thing you know, now it's they changed the not the law, but they changed the rules. Kids can't be blows my mind, guys. It's disgusting. I don't watch sports anymore, but I do enjoy MMA, right? So now, if I see a gentleman walking down the street wearing a jersey, whatever team he wants, or whatever organization, does that mean that it's a front? No, that person's supporting that team, right? Doesn't mean that he walk around and he tells, and when people see him wearing a jersey, they think that he plays on the friggin' team. That's what Halloween's all about. Not to get into that down that rabbit hole. Halloween's about dressing up and being things that are A, funny, and B, things that you don't normally typically do. But at that time, it is accessible. It is up until recently, everything was accessible. Earthwatcher, thumbs up. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate all you guys. They destroyed sports. Oh yeah. Again, as a child, I'm a millennial. I grew up with ESPN. ESPN is to me, guys. ESPN is just like watching CNN. But now they own the UFC, but you know, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They might know a little bit something about football, but as far as fighting goes, not so much. Less sports are scripted. Again, not me saying it. Behold a pale horse. Behold a pale horse. This is 1980s, but I think it came out in 1991. Behold a Pale Horse. It's free. You could even get it on the ebook. So listen to it every little pieces every day, I guess. He even mentions in his book, Mr. William Cooper, that sports were made as a distraction. He added that in his book. The UFC is the last sport that's not scripted and run by deep. Yeah, again, guys, I've been to a couple UFCs, right? And my father, he's actually rolled with a couple Gracies, and so I grew up with it, and then now as an adult, obviously I still follow it. That being said, guys, again, say what you want about the sport, say what you want about Dana, say what you want about Trump, regardless. I was there, folks. 2003, Atlantic City, at that UFC. Donald Trump went there. And now look what it is. Again, guys, this was something that was banned in New York City. No Name, we all know No Name. He called it human cockfighting. So Dana White and Trump, they're, again, you might not like one of them either, whatever. But again, that's my sport. I enjoy. It's not just about fighting, guys. It's about a art too. It's about, you know, mixed martial arts. They go back to, it's part of history. Combat is part of history. All right, guys. I think I'm probably the fourth time I'll say it, but this time I'm really am going. You guys are absolutely amazing. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are truly amazing. And again, I never say this, but we fight algorithms here, and I'm shadow banned on both channels, guys. It's so bad that if I leave a comment when I'm signed in, that comment does not get displayed on someone else's channel. That's how shadow banned I am. So yeah, obviously if you like the video, it helps the algorithms. And if you like a certain video or want to leave a tip, I do have a Patreon, or excuse me, PayPal, and we'll see where the next couple weeks takes us. But that's another thing that I'm working on too, guys. So regardless, reality not fiction will be somewhere. All right, God bless you guys. Be safe. See you soon.